during this time of great challenge, creativity still happens. Creativity still emerges. And that has been a very cool thing. So this challenge has not changed who we are, it's just revealed who we are.
Hi, I'm Alex Trevino, Director of Capital Improvements, and we're here at Woodward Park Middle School today to highlight the HVAC improvements we're making at this facility and across the district this summer.
Reveal who you are. And what this has revealed is that during this time of great challenge, creativity still happens. Creativity still emerges. And that has been a very cool thing. So this challenge has not changed who we are, it's just revealed who we are.
Hi, I'm Alex Trevino, Director of Capital Improvements, and we're here at Woodward Park Middle School today to highlight the HVAC improvements we're making at this facility and across the district this summer. So this summer's work is focused on our middle school and high school auditoriums and gymnasiums. Here at Woodward Park, there's brand new air conditioning going into the gymnasium, and then we are replacing the unit that was already in the auditorium because it was quite old. And so while we were able to improve air conditioning in our traditional classrooms before, we had not been able to make those improvements at the gyms and the auditoriums. And so recognizing that they are very much classrooms as well, and part of our Students' Day, we're really pleased to be able to make those improvements as well this summer. So the auditoriums and the gymnasiums didn't get the improvements before, mostly out of budget concerns. So we were really focused on our traditional classrooms and getting air conditioning upgrades there. So we are really proud that we're 1 full year ahead of the commitment to get those spaces air conditioned, and at the end of this summer, we'll have every classroom, including our gymnasiums and our auditoriums, air conditioned for the very first time. So one of the improvements we've been able to make as a result of our HVAC investments is to add what we call DDC, or direct digital control, over every single unit controlling every single space. So every single classroom, and in fact every common space, is going to have a thermostat. That's an improvement that we've made across the system, and so it helps not only regulate the temperature in each space, it also allows our central maintenance team to see problems as they're happening.
The record last year was 3-10 because we only had 5 players, and the record this year is 7-9.
We was gonna make a team at Lynn McKinley if we had a coach or if we didn't, and we're having people come to our games to come watch us play.
Share the ball a little bit more now, and I actually see the team as like a sisterhood.
To go into an actual program that does have those type of losses, you feel like there's no expectation. And I seen from previous games that I had looked at that they actually were talented.
Oratiana, she loves to get buckets. Shy, she's strong with the ball. She'll body anybody. Faith, she brings the energy if we feeling down.
Denny is doing real good. I love Denny. I got to play with my sister this year. She's a freshman.
Marion Franklin, Christiana Towns, she had 35 points, 25 rebounds, and 10 steals. She averages 18.5 points per game, 9 rebounds, 6 steals per game. Her Mifflin game that we had, Tamaya Harrington, she had 27 points, 5 rebounds, 13 steals.
It makes me feel more confident. Start varsity as a freshman and play the whole game and make a lot of points with my teammates and a lot of assists.
Changing the culture means a lot to me. It makes me feel real good that people aren't just seeing Linden girls as trash. We here Monday through Saturday, so we really putting in the work, and I'm happy people are actually coming out and seeing us. We aren't just a team that's 3-10. We're an actual high school basketball team.
Once I actually did see Darthard and the program that he was actually running, and how he was uplifting and actually caring. Once they actually started to win games and to see their progress and to understand how much I did really care about them outside of just the game itself, it made them want to show up. It made them care. It made them want to actually work together and have a sisterhood to where they loved each other.
My brothers are Philip, LB, Chris, and Emmanuel. When I watch my brothers play, I look up to them and I play against them a lot. so it makes me a little tougher to play against girls.
The town's name is very strong in the community, and she's living up to her name.
My goal for Lynn McKinley is to win more games and set an example for little kids.
Being a senior is pretty bittersweet that the program is just getting together, and I'm about to leave, but I'm happy it got together. Coach means a lot to me. She is actually my NOAC advisor, so I be in her office a lot.
Miss Crenshaw, she makes sure I make it to individual workouts, things I need help with to be better.
She set up some team bonding for us. We do a lot of stuff on and off the court. I do enjoy playing against East since they are our rivals.
I have fun playing against Kennedy from Centennial, Kayla from Centennial, Layla from International.
For college, I would like to study stenography. College coaches should recruit me because I feel like I'm a good leader, I'm a good listener, and I have good discipline, and I can push myself.
She's always going to put 110% into whatever it is that she does. So a lot of the times whenever coaches are looking for that one player, that spark, Tamaya Harrington would be that person. I cannot wait to see the young woman that she's going to become.
I just want to do photography and still do basketball. College coaches should recruit me because I put all the work in. I'm very humble. I could make buckets, and I like to share the ball and communicate.
College coaches should recruit Christiana Towns because of her work ethic, the ability that she has, which is natural, and on top of that, she's very coachable. It's something different whenever you have someone to step on the court that has an athletic ability, that has a game that is different than a lot of players that do play the game, and you can still teach them something.
My name is William Stinchcombe, and I've been with the Columbus City Schools for 23 years.
My name is Mr. Dorsey Birdsong. I'm a safety and security specialist.
My name is Anita Roman, and I am a Columbus City Schools bus driver.
My name is Samuel Gonzalez. I'm a food service manager currently at Briggs High School.
I know that if I'm not there every day and on time, that student may not have a ride to school. And that weighs on me heavily. And I take pride in knowing that my students can set their clock on me. I'm always, it takes a lot for me not to come to work. It's important to come to work every day, be on time, because we may be the only way that student gets to school.
Seeing the kids years later and having them come up to me and say how thankful and grateful they were and happy that, I kept them safe in the district, and, that I can't retire or leave the district until their kids graduate.
This was one of the best decisions I've made in my life. I didn't expect to live for this, but I love being part of the Columbus City School as a family. I just think because the building represents our districts, for me to see how clean the building is, I could take pride in my effort, and to put the cleaning and the organizing of the building, it just makes me feel a level of pride.
Peaceful mind can accomplish a lot of things. And when a student is hungry, their mind is oftentimes on what the next meal is going to be. In an indirect way, we affect the students in the kitchen. They can accomplish what they have to in the classroom. And for them to accomplish that, oftentimes that's going to better their situation for themselves, their family, and their community. So in a sense, helping the student in an indirect manner with the food is something that I really enjoy.
Columbus, Ohio has so much to offer our youth. The growth you can obtain from being a part of this district is huge. There is such diversity and learning experience happening throughout our K-12 buildings.
I love to see the excitement in the kids' faces when they know they can start school the very next day. So it's exciting for the families. So I think it's very impactful because it gives them that first start to, learning and growing.
I've been working with kids all my life. Coming here, meeting the students, the relationships that I've built over the years is just phenomenal. I'm seeing students, still see students to this day that thank me. Just, thanks for everything you've done. Thanks for helping provide a safe learning environment. Thank you for the talks, and they're really appreciative.
The district provides training throughout the school year and a lot of information that's constantly updated, and it's always available to us. So that's very helpful in being able to, provide the best service to, our students and parents. The diversity in Columbus and inclusion, it's unlike any other place, really. There's so many different cultures and you come in contact with just on a daily basis, with our students and parents and teachers.
I've really enjoyed the last few years working here at CCS. It's got great benefits, the people have been great, and I wouldn't change it for anything. I've had other job offers, but I've turned them down because I just really like the people and I like working here.
Run to your computer and apply online. This is one of the greatest kept secrets in the school district, really. This is a great job. Just apply online, it's easy. We have, our training is excellent, and we'll do everything we can to help you get through, and you won't regret it, I promise.
I used to get calls all the time from people asking me about the station. What kind of music do you play? And the canned format was adult album alternative. And so I asked the music director, what does that actually mean? And he said, we play the good stuff. That was the end of his explanation.
Well, AAA music is heavy on the singer-songwriters and the Americana, but we also include blues music, jazz, other styles like world music.
It's not the same songs every other hour. And in 90.5's case, it's not even the same songs each week.
WCB is pretty unique with all the variety of music that we can play and the variety of shows that we have.
We've had John Prine, Ziggy Marley, Warren Haynes from the Allman Brothers. We have had Tedeschi Trucks. The list goes on and on.
The thing that we have at WCBE is experts in music that know where the good stuff is.
Homemade, locally produced programming is what we're all about, and just sort of sitting there and grooving out in a radio station, knowing that I'm doing the same thing with thousands of listeners across the state. I really dig that. I dig that sort of concept.
We're all over the map. It's great music. You know, people that go, oh, I listen to everything. If you listen to everything, all you need to do is listen to us.
Good evening. I am sitting in for President Cole this evening, who is out of the country. So as Vice President, I get the honor of leading this meeting today. So I would like to call our special meeting on April 17th to order. Please call the roll.
Vice President Adair.
Present.
Ms. Ingalls.
Present.
Dr. Pierce.
Present.
Reyes.
Here.
Mr. Simmons.
Present.
Ms. Vera.
Here.
President Cole is absent. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Can we all please stand for the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our treasurer is not here, so let me do the agenda first. So tonight, we will approve a appoint of treasurer pro temp. Then we have one matter on board matters to discuss, and that is to discuss the Board of Education's non-discrimination policies in accordance with Title VI, and then we will adjourn.
Motion to approve the agenda. Second.
Without objections, the agenda is approved. Now, our treasurer is not here today, so I would like to make a motion pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 3313.23 requires the board, when the treasurer is absent from any meeting of the board, to choose one of their members to serve in his place pro temp. And whereas Mr. Ryan Cook, treasurer, is absent from this meeting, now therefore it be resolved that the board appoint board member Christina Vera to serve as treasurer pro temp in the absence of the treasurer for the duration of this meeting and this meeting only. That is a motion.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Ms. Ingalls.
Yes.
Dr. Pierce.
Yes.
Ms. Reyes.
Yes.
Mr. Simmons.
Yes.
Ms. Vera.
Yes.
Vice President Adair.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move into board matters. Item 4.1. Tonight, we will be discussing recent federal and state governmental action related to diversity, equity, and inclusion practices in schools. Our district and community have always been committed to creating and sustaining supportive spaces for all students, staff, and families, and remain committed to that work. We also have been and will remain in compliance with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Title VI, a federal law that prohibits discrimination based on race, color, and national origin in programs and activities receiving federal financial assistance, including public schools. Here's a timeline of recent events. The U.S. Department of Education sent a letter on April 3rd to all state departments of education informing them that they must collect signed certification letters from their state's public school districts verifying compliance with the certification titled Reminder of Legal Obligations Undertaken in Exchange for Receiving Federal Financial Assistance and Request for Certification under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the legal case of SFFA versus Harvard. The certification asks districts to acknowledge that they will comply with Title VI and the U.S. Department of Education's recently expanded interpretation of Title VI, as outlined in a recent Dear Colleague letter, which stands for the premise that illegal diversity, equity, and inclusion programs can be used to discriminate in a violation of Title VI. The certification asks districts to confirm that they are not engaging in any illegal DEI practices, although the term is undefined in the certification. The stated consequences for illegal DEI practices include the elimination of federal funding, potential initiation of litigation by the Department of Justice to recover previously received federal funds, as well as liability under the Federal False Claims Act. The Ohio Department of Education and Workforce, ODU, contacted Ohio schools on April 7th requesting that they sign the certification letter no later than 11:59 p.m. on Friday, April 18th, 2025, or risk losing federal funding. We understand that multiple lawsuits have been filed regarding the certification, but as of this date and time, the certification remains in place. Title VI provides that no person in the United States shall, on the ground of race, color, or national origin, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subject to discrimination under any program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. Columbus City Schools is compliant with Title VI and regularly confirms its compliance with non-discrimination laws, including Title VI, in its consolidated grants application under the Comprehensive Continuous Improvement Plan, CCIP, facilitated by the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce and operated by the U.S. Department of Education. As Columbus City Schools is in compliance with federal law, the school district remains eligible for federal funding. I will now offer a resolution for the Board of Education to consider. Whereas the Columbus City School District Board of Education, CCS Board, has received notice that the United States Department of Education, US DOE, is requiring that all education agencies certify their compliance with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Title VI, and the United States Supreme Court case of SFFA versus Harvard, the certification, and whereas the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce, ODU, has requested that all school districts in the state of Ohio submit the certification no later than 11:59 on April 18, 2025, and whereas ODU has indicated that failure to comply with this deadline may jeopardize the district's access to federal funding, now therefore be resolved that the CCS administration is authorized and directed to submit a copy of this resolution as a response to US DOE's demand for certification of compliance. It is further resolved that the CCS Board has already affirmed its compliance under Title VI and other non-discrimination laws in its consolidated grants application under the Comprehensive Continuous Improvement Plan, CCIP, operated by the US DOE, see which will be attached, and maintains and enforces comprehensive non-discrimination policies consistent with applicable law. It is further resolved that federal funds provide critical resources for students with disabilities, early learning programs, transportation, career and technical education, and teacher training, which strengthen the CCS Board's schools, workforce, and communities. Any threat to this funding without legal support or compliance will establish requirements, puts key programs at risk that students and schools depend on every day. It is further resolved that the CCS Board is unaware of any authority that the US DOE has to demand that it agree to an interpretation of a judicial decision or change the terms and conditions of the CCS Board's receipt of federal funds without formal administrative process. Adherence to rulemaking procedures is required in order for a federal agency to make improvisational changes to legally assurances and impose new requirements on recipients. It is further resolved that the CCS Board does not waive any rights it has related to the enforcement of the certification or the CCS Board's receipt of federal funding because SFFA versus Harvard is a case wherein the United States Supreme Court reviewed affirmative action programs utilized for student acceptance at higher education institutions and did not discuss K-12 schools or related legal requirements for K-12 schools, and did not provide any specific legal interpretation extending or applying the case to K-12 education. It is further resolved that the CCS Board does not waive any right it has related to the enforcement of the certification or the CCS Board's receipt of federal funding because the certification is vague and ambiguous, where it states that certain diversity, equity, and inclusion practices can violate federal law without defining diversity, equity, and inclusion practices, or stating which practices violate federal law. It is unclear which specific programs or activities the US DOE seeks to regulate by demanding certification. It is further resolved that by submitting this resolution and enclosure as a response to the US DOE's demand for certification, the CCS Board is not waiving any of its legal rights, claims, defenses, or remedies, whether available now or in the future, under applicable law should federal funds be paused, withheld, or removed from the CCS Board. And the CCS Board expressly reserves all rights, remedies, and defenses available under the law. That is a motion.
I
Is there a
second the resolution as written and documented in board docs.
There's been a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Pierce?
Yes.
Ms. Reyes?
Yes.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes.
Ms. Vera?
Yes.
Ms. Ingles?
Yes.
Vice President Adair?
Yes.
6-0 vote.
Thank you so much. At this time, we just need a motion to adjourn, and I will let everyone know that there are copies available of the resolution and statement that I read available if you would like it.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We are adjourned.